Okay, 4 questions. 2 of them have 2 parts, so 8 total. 5, 8, and 4 is 12, and 3 is 15, and 6, 21 points total. So you have an idea. You're going to have to do like we did for the first 1 through
9?
1 through 9, 1 through 8, whatever, 1 through 10.
9, yeah, 1 through 9.
You're going to have to be able to utilize the polynomials, work with polynomials, okay? Very, very, very similar in nature to those. There's 2 of those. And then there's 2 solve the inequalities.
Miss K? Is one of the equalities like number 14 where you have an A and you have to come up?
Okay. No, just a simple. Yes, there are A's and B's in the other 2.
And does the...
One has A's and B's. One has A.
Is that for the 1 through 9 ones, or? Okay.
And does the polynomials, does that have like where you have A and B and you have to do substitution, elimination?
Yeah, could you do one like that?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I think easy test. It's ready to go. It's ready to go.
No.
Tomorrow's fine.
I understand some people.
Yeah, but you need a little more time than that few minutes that we have in this class. Unfortunately, it's just cut back a little bit, so you'll want the whole time. She's ready to go.
I'm ready to go. I need to get this test done today so I don't worry about it.
I understand some people.
Okay.
Well, some people, like, Nick was out for 2 days.
I'm not ready.
That's what I'm talking
He walked
about,
into me
right?
saying, "Oh, the test is Thursday." He's like, "What?"
Yes.
Not sure why.
You can steal mine. I'm down with the
That's
worksheet.
right.
I thought it was like up here. It turns out it's right here.
Absolutely. Do you have a certain color or green? No green, because it stains. I know. That's the only color I don't really want.
Okay, I don't care.
I got blues. 2 said you have a function f of x. It's defined by, not that. It's defined by x cubed plus ax squared minus ax plus 14. Okay, and then it says first and foremost that it's given that x plus 2 is a factor. So when it tells me that something is a factor, what does it tell me?
Right. Yeah.
The 0 is a remainder. When I plug in what number?
Negative.
Yes. So x equals -2 is what I'm going to plug in, and the output will be 0. What happens if they say x plus 2 has a remainder of 8?
You have it equal to 8.
Right. So you're going to plug in -2, but the output would be the 8. Okay. So everybody's good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to have -2 cubed plus a times -2 squared. A times -2 plus 14 is 0. Are we good so far? Yeah? Okay. So now we're going to just do a little bit of math magic. So we have -8 plus 4a plus 2a plus 14 is 0.
Combine like terms.
Combine like terms. So 6a plus 6 is 0. Are we good?
Yeah.
Am I going too fast?
No.
So 6a is -6, a is -1. So I do believe the first part tells you that it wants you to find a, right? So the second part of I says it has only one real root. Did that make sense? So I don't even know what it wants me to do.
Something with a discriminant.
The equation of f of x.
Okay, yes.
What are you saying? The procedure for finding it?
So first we're going to do is plug in the, I just didn't know what the question was. I don't have it.
Okay, good.
So we have x cubed minus 1x squared plus x plus 14. So that's my new function, correct?
Yeah.
And what do I know about this function? Well, I know for a fact x plus 2 divides into it.
Yeah.
When it divides into it, it goes in evenly. Okay, so if I divide that into it evenly, then what should my result be? It will be a 0 at the end. But what I have left over is the trinomial. So let's go ahead and go that route. Now, things to think about. Linear divisor. So I could use synthetic division.
Yeah.
or long division if I like it better, but synthetic division seems to be easier. So -2 goes into,
Take out the coefficients.
right, so 1, -1, 1, 14.
Drop down the first one.
Are we good so far, everyone? So drop down the 1, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, and we should get 0. So far so good?
Yep.
So what's left, because remember, what I'm dividing into a cubic to the 3rd power. I'm dividing a 1st power into it. So when I divide it in, it goes down 1 level, so it becomes a squared. Okay, so what I have left over here is 1x squared minus 3x plus 7. So far so good?
Yep.
So truly what I know right now is that x plus 2 times this is my original function. And it wants me to show that this is the only real root.
What's that mean?
Okay, so what it means is typically when I factor it, I'm left with 3 linear factors, right? I'm left with x plus 2 times x plus 1 times whatever, right?
Mhm.
What it's telling me is that the remainder is non-factorable. So it won't have, it's not a pretty linear factor.
Oh, okay.
So if I'm looking at that, what's the one way to show that it's not real? The
Discriminant.
discriminant. And what do we know of the discriminant? There's 3 different options for the discriminant. The first option is when it's bigger than 0, when it's equal to 0, when it's less than 0. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's b squared
Yeah.
minus 4ac. And if we think about it, if we're thinking about the big picture of the quadratic formula, that is really that part that we're
Yeah.
looking at. So when things are bigger than 0,
2
I
real
have
roots.
2 roots.
Yeah.
Because truly, if I'm thinking big picture, I've got negative b plus or minus all over what, 2a?
Yeah.
Right? And that, so negative b plus or minus a number that's bigger than 0 divided by 2a's, and then I have negative b minus a number. That's where the 2 roots come in.
Yeah.
And so if it's equal to 0, that means that goes away.
It's a double root.
So it's a double root or 1 root, because it's this divided by that.
Yeah.
Last but not least, if it's less than 0, that means underneath that square root is negative.
It's imaginary
It's
roots.
imaginary. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug this in and we're going to show that that b squared minus 4ac is going to be less than 0. Therefore, there's no more roots there. So I have b squared, so negative 3 squared, minus 4 times a times c. Is everybody cool?
Yeah.
I have, so 9 minus 28 is less than 0, right? That's all I need to know. So therefore, that was the only real root that would have happened. Is that
Yes.
good?
Miss K,
Yes.
are you finished there, or should you have an explanation? Like, since that there was there's only 1 real root, because when we used the other quadratic, it came out to be less than 0, so it meant that any other roots were imaginary.
I would do that.
Yeah.
I would write that down. I would explain it.
Is there gonna be one like that on it? Where we have to discriminate? Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay.
There's not a whole lot of them to practice, so
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot of different options there.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right, so let's go and do, what was the next one?
7.
7. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody good?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, I'm supposed to have that. I better start writing my little. All right, number 7. So the polynomial is ax cubed plus bx squared plus x plus 3. It is given that 3x plus 1 is a factor. Okay?
Uh-huh.
And it's also telling me that x minus 2 has a remainder of 21. Find the values of a and b. Are we good so far?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing I know is 3x plus 1 is indeed a factor. So I'm going to plug in what?
Wait.
You're going to plug in the, set it to 0 and solve for x.
Negative 1/3.
Yeah.
So close to 3. Negative 1/3, plug it in, it will be equal to 0, right? So I would have 3 times, does everybody see where I got negative 1/3 from?
Yeah.
Just checking. And then b times negative 1/3 squared.
Why'd you write
Left
3?
3. Shouldn't be A.
Yeah, sorry.
Probably because you saw 3x plus 1 and that
Good
threw you
catch.
off.
I don't know where it went, where it came from. Just really wanted a 3 in there for some reason, maybe.
Well,
Thank you.
foreshadowing. Foreshadowing. We're really gonna need
You already
that
have
3.
the answer?
We might need the 3 desperately. Okay, sorry. Back to business here. So negative 1/3 plus 3, and that's going to be equivalent to 0.
Clean it up.
We're going to make it pretty as this can get. So negative 1/3 cubed is
Negative 1/27.
Yes. We're not scared, right? Okay, moving on.
Got 1/9 b.
Oh, yeah.
So 1/9 b, right? How did we get the 9? Well, we squared both pieces. Okay,
Minus.
minus 1/3.
Plus 3.
There's my 3. Equals 0. Okay. Right by fractions.
Common denominator.
What? By 27.
Multiply by 27. Yeah. If I multiply each piece by 27, then I've got no more fractions to worry about. You know, because I'm scared. You know that. Yes.
It would be easier to like just make it 27, so the numbers wouldn't be as big. So like you could do 1/9 times 3, and then 1/3 times 9.
You mean to get a common denominator over here and do this cleanup first?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so this would be what, 9/3, right? You with me?
Yeah. No, like because instead of multiplying by 27, because it's such a big number, you could just make the common denominator 27.
But then you still have fractions to work with.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. We're multiplying truly by 27 over 27.
Yeah, so
We're multiplying everything by, yeah.
so the biggest number
It
was
simplifies itself out. Yeah? No? Maybe so?
yeah.
I understand.
It sounds complicated, but it's really not, because all those numbers are
Like, what
divisible.
does this become right here? 8/9, right?
Right.
8/3, right? So, you with me? This whole thing is 8/3. So I'm trying to avoid working with fractions. So you can do fractions if you want.
No thanks.
No, some people love them. I know. I just try to make it prettier so the answers kind of feel better. I don't know. So what does this become?
Negative a
Negative a. That's not bad. What does this become?
plus 3b.
Is everybody good with how that works? And then last but not least, 3 goes in there 9 times.
8
9
ninths.
times 8. Definitely 70 something. I feel your pain. Okay,
Yeah, I
so
left them separate and then I put them together.
okay.
I punched it in the calculator.
So are we cool with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you go over that one more time?
Okay, which part? The
last
multiplying by 27? So really this is 27 over 1,
Oh, so
right?
you're just multiplying?
Yeah, truly, all the way across. All right, now we're going to do the same thing with the 2. I'm going to assume it's going to be better, but we'll see. So we're going to take a times 2 cubed plus b times 2 squared plus 2 plus 3 is 21.
It's a lot nicer.
You good with that, everybody? Everybody understand why the 21? Okay, so what, 8a?
Yeah.
40
Plus 4b
plus 5.
plus 5 equals 21.
So really it's 8a plus 4b equals 16.
Yes.
And then you can divide everything by?
4.
Yeah, 4 works for me. 2 more than 2. Yeah. You with me? Cool.
You could subtract the 2a over, then you have b equals something. Take that and stick it into the other one.
That's a great way to do
Yeah.
it, substitution.
Yeah.
Or you could put one on top of each other. Like,
Yeah.
so I have,
You gotta multiply stuff.
I
At
know.
least just simplified it. I left the 8a and 4b and 16. So it was a big
That sounds
number.
like
It was
a
negative 576, and I was like, okay.
Yeah. So
I mean, I got the
there's
right answer.
different ways to do it. Like I recognize I could multiply the whole top thing by -3 and then combine like terms.
Yeah.
Or multiply the whole bottom thing by 2.
Yeah.
Double the bottom. Again, big numbers. Why? I'm scared. I don't know. So if I double the bottom, I have, I'll rewrite the top. I have -2a plus 6b equals
Something.
144.
Yeah.
It does look like that. How else?
I don't know, just make
There
it
you
square
go.
like there we go.
There you go.
Better?
Or you could do a capital B.
That would be better. That would probably be smarter with his handwriting. So
Yeah.
we're going to add straight down, right? So if I add straight down, the A's are gone.
Yeah.
I have 7 of these guys. That's better. And then when I add this, I got what? Negative 40.
B is 20.
So B is negative 20. That wasn't bad.
It was a lot easier than the way I did it. Once again, I multiplied.
Now we gotta find that.
2A. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really kind of waiting on a phone call. He's all cold. He is.
Hi!
Say hi to everyone.
Hello.
All right.
You're on video now.
You're on video saying hi on the video.
Videoception.
You have made my YouTube channel. That is awesome.
Maybe we'll get more views.
All right, go to class. I love you. You had frost again this
So number 8 involves where you have to use long division because the divisor is quadratic.
quadratic. Do you want me
You
to do
think?
that one?
Yeah, I think that'd be a good one.
Which one is it?
8.
Number 8.
Is everybody cool with number 7?
Yeah.
Just finding A and B like that.
I think that's all it said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no other parts.
Yeah. You can take that kind of problem and enjoy it, right?
hmm
I enjoyed this section because I understand it.
I know. AICE Math 2 is a lot. There's some things that are a little difficult, but this smooth sailing. I'm sorry, I'm truly waiting on a phone call, so I apologize. All right, number 8.
You need the paper?
Yeah.
Interrupted.
I know. That child.
If I walk in here,
That's,
Yeah.
then I can't walk in, so now I've got to call.
Now he's gonna call. Seriously, I wouldn't
Well,
have
at
that
least his
phone on.
mouth is, it was, like last year it was a lot cleaner.
Well, you still have to like feed him though.
Before lunch.
That too.
To get food.
Then I have to.
And post started getting
I
I think you lost your feeding privileges though, because you really need to work harder in this class.
No, he's fine.
Get on.
Get on it, Noah.
Okay, so it tells me that x plus 1 and x plus 2 are both factors,
So
right?
O
Yeah.
equals 0.
So if I plug in -1, set it to 0. If I plug in -2, set it to 0.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so 4 times -1 cubed plus a times -1 squared plus b times -1 minus 2 is 0. Are we good? So cleaning it up is not as intimidating as the one we just did. So I have
-4 plus a minus 3
-4, yeah, plus a
minus b.
minus 2 is 0. So a minus b is, together that's -6, added over I got 6.
Very simple.
Are we good so far?
Yes.
Okay, so then we're going to do the same thing with the -2. So 4 times -2 cubed plus a times -2 squared plus b times -2. I keep wanting to put plus 2 for some reason. Minus 2 is 0. Bless you. So I've got -32
Yes.
and then plus 4a
Minus 2b.
minus 2b
Minus 2.
is 0.
Yeah, okay.
So I've got 4a minus 2b
Minus 34.
minus 34 is 0.
And then 4a, 2b, 34, and then
This is a good one for substitution.
It's a really nice one if you'd rather do substitution.
A equals b plus
Do
6.
you want me to show that method just so you have that on tape? The
Sure.
Substitution? Okay. So here is a equals 6 plus b, right? That's just wrong. What? Okay. Trying. So now we're going to, everywhere we see an A, we're going to replace it with 6 plus ugly B. So we have 4 times 6 plus B minus 2b equals 34.
Distribute
Okay.
the 4.
Distribute the 4, so the 6 is not a problem anymore. 24 plus 4b minus 2b is 34.
24 plus 2b equals.
Say that again. I took, did you ask me?
No, I got it now.
I took this thing and replaced everywhere I saw an A.
Okay.
Yes.
When do you know when you need to use substitution or elimination?
Elimination to me is easier because you can just put one on top of each other and just match them and add down. But a lot of people like substitution better. If you have an A that doesn't have a number in front of it, or a B that doesn't have a number in front of it, that's the method you could use, substitution. Okay, are we good? And so combining like terms, I've got 2b equals 10, b is 5.
And then just stick it back in where it's easier.
Right here, right? So A is
11.
What the heck?
11. How do we feel?
Very good. I already got it.
I did the substitution or the elimination.
I just want to check my answers with the II.
I have all the answers. Do you want me to give them to you to see? Okay. Is this a double part one though?
Yes.
Let me finish it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, the part II was where you have to use long division.
Oh, okay. So now that we know we have, an A and a B, we utilize those, right?
And it just wants the remainder.
So 4x cubed plus 11
Plus
x
one,
squared
plus one,
plus 5
x,
x minus 2. And it's being divided by?
x squared.
Minus 1.
It says when A and B have these values, find the remainder when P of x is divided by x squared plus 1.
So if I'm dividing x squared plus 1, I'm really dividing x squared
Plus 0x.
plus 0x plus 1.
I think I did this right.
Is everybody cool with that, how that happened?
Yeah.
Why did I do that? Because I need to make sure that I have all the squared, the regular, and the number, right? Is everybody okay with that?
So you just plugged in the A and B values, right?
Yeah, that we just found.
Alright.
Okay, so now I know I have 3 items, and I'm going to divide them into 3 items. So 3 into 3, so my first number is going to go up here. And what I say to myself is, what times x squared would give me 4x cubed?
4x.
So 4x. So when I multiply it out, I got 4x cubed plus 0x squared plus 4x, and I'm going to subtract down. And the idea is when I subtract it, that first thing better go away, because that's kind of what I was gearing for. So my x cubes cancel. I have 11x squared minus 0x squared, so I have 11 of them. And then 5 minus 4, so plus x. Then bring that guy down. Are we good so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now how many times does x squared go into that? Well, plus 11 times. So I've got 11x squared plus 0x plus 11. Subtract it down. So the 11's cancel, which is what we want. And x minus nothing would be x. And then negative 2 minus that would be minus 13. And
So
what
it's
is
the
it?
remainder.
They just want the remainder? Yeah, that's the remainder.
Miss K?
Isn't it over?
Do you have to put it over the thing? Or just-
Yeah. So it's 4x plus 11 plus
Over that whole thing?
x minus 3 over the divisor.
Oh.
X
okay.
squared plus 1.
Now 313.
Yeah, I forgot a 1. Sorry.
I was like, wait, where's your 3?
I don't know. There
Now
was some
it's
days
okay.
already, huh?
No, I was like,
X minus space.
Oh, it does. Struggling.
He gets it.
Struggling.
there we go.
There it is. Okay, are we feeling it?
Yes.
So that whole thing's the remainder.
The remainder is your x plus 3 over that.
Yeah, just the last part, the fraction.
See, it looks like x.
It's like the fraction part.
Yeah, just the fraction is the remainder. That's
Correct.
all I wanted.
We can't win.
Yeah.
That looks like X plus 3.
How do I make it bigger?
Control plus.
Yeah, that works. Maybe.
Or control and then zoom in your mouse.
Or that.
Okay. Yeah.
Is the Athlon hydroponics farm like the one that's right off US 1? Like right over there?
sure? I don't know, I've never heard of it.
I'm going on a field trip there and I have to get there by myself.
Oh.
So I'm trying to figure out where it
Where to
is.
go?
Yes. The address.
Are you guys seeing the answers? I'm putting them up for you.
That's helpful.
Miss, I want to ask, like, what's the remainder? Do you just want us to write the number or back into the equation?
Looks like they just accepted the number up there.
So not even put it over the original divisor?
They did it there.
Copied it. It was so hard to read.
I'm getting 8 hours in community service.
I'm getting 6 hours on the day of homecoming. Night of homecoming. I'm not going to homecoming. And I'm doing community service hours instead.
Wow.
Because I have 0 time.
Seriously?
I have 0
Yeah,
hours.
I have 7
I
hours.
only
Yelling at you.
have 9 hours left. It's like the final home stretch.
Well, I'm in the
So it's
SOL program.
You should get on that.
I'm in beta
I
club.
need a list of who's doing parking on Friday.
I'm not doing it this week. I can get it for you tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, I can't. Friday? I can get it for you
Well,
Friday.
I'll text Scarby and ask her.
Okay, because we're not in the class Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Oh. Do you see it? Are we doing good?
I think it's like,
I think we did that one again.
yeah.
He's putting it on video.
Okay.
And you could probably just look up some of these. Like if you type into Google like the exact words of the questions,
Yeah.
it might come up.
That is true. Sneaky.
9.
You want me to bring it back?
For 9, yeah, I just want to know.
There it is. I'll bring it back down.
Hey, I got it. Yay. That was the only one I was worried about. This is another long division one.
Good?
I'm not good at long division, so.
So
I get the synthetic, the long division just gets
for
my-
11, once you find like x is plus or minus 4, then you just do the chart thing. Okay.
Yeah, that's my method.
Yeah, that's how it works, man.
See, they do the same wording that I do. They obtain their special numbers. They call them critical values. And then they just come up with their answer, but you guys use a chart to create that answer.
Is there an in between for 2 and 3.5?
But that might not be part of the answer set.
That's why I was confused. Oh, so it can't be if there's no in between.
Right, remember it goes yes, no, yes, or no, yes, yes, or whatever.
Yeah, because I was trying to find like a number to use for the in between, so I couldn't find one.
It's not even your birthday yet.
Well, you're the first one to tell him.
I think we did 14 together.
Yeah.